Did you know the Friends of Hope is an initiative of Hope Media? Through this initiative, we are able to partner with others who are keen to ensure that we keep hope alive. Through your support, we are sharing the hope we have with many others who are yet to embrace hope. You too can become a part of this initiative today. Send your contribution of any amount to M-Pesa paybill number 933933. Account name Friends of Hope. For more information regarding Friends of Hope, please email friendsofhope@hopefm.org or SMS FOH to 20933. Join Friends of Hope today. Friends of Hope, keeping hope alive. Another quality service from Christ is the Answer Ministries.
Welcome to today's Leadership Forum. Leadership Forum is a program that happens every Monday here at Hope FM. And now we are online, we are on Facebook, we are on YouTube, and we are also on Instagram. You can join us in any of those ways. I'm on Boimboro, and Bishop of Christ is the Answer Ministries, Bishop Oginde, will be with us in just a while. Just to let you know that you can still have this piece of land that is called the Rafiki Gardens. Optiven is presenting the Rafiki Gardens clearance offer. Sorry, it's a project that's located within the Nairobi metropolis and along Kangundo Road. It's a value-added project with Maram roads, clearly demarcated plots with serene environment, with amenities that are nearby, with a marked fence on site, and only a few plots remain at Rafiki Gardens, which means that you can now buy and build the home of your dreams right away in an affordable way. Title deeds ready, and the offer is 695,000 Kenya shillings. That's 695K only, and all you need is to put up a 50% down payment. Enjoy paying the rest within 6 months. For more information on Rafiki Gardens, you can log on to www.optiven.co.ke, or then just directly call Optiven today on the line 0702 831 083. That's 0702 83 1083. That's Optiven, the paysetters in real estate. And now, without much more ado, let me welcome the Bishop of Christ is the Answer Ministries, Bishop Oginde, to help us through matters to do with leaders and their followers. How are you, Bishop?
Very well, thank you.
We missed you last Monday. I'm fine. I'm fine, Bishop. We missed you last Monday. Where did you go?
I heard you saying where I went.
You were able to hear that.
Yes, I listened. I was out in Bomas at the launch of BBI. A great conference. Yes. That's where I was.
I happen to know that on that day you were what we call trending. You were actually trending on Twitter. Did you know that?
No, I know that people were talking about what I said, but as for trending, I didn't know.
I think they said you are trending. But you know, people were looking out for what you had said, and then others were sharing what you had said. Bomas, BBI. This BBI won't go away. Could we just see this through your eyes, Bishop, at this point? You were there, that launch, you were there. I guess being there gives you some more intense, more zoomed in. How shall we say? You're able to see more. You're able to gauge moods. You're able to see what the cameras didn't pick. Looking back, and even as we continue, what's on your mind about this whole thing, this whole conversation called BBI?
Like you said, being there, you get to feel the mood, you get to hear and hopefully understand what this thing is all about. This was the launch of the BBI. At least there was opportunity to get a general overview of what this particular proposal is all about. And we had opportunity, which was live, so I'm sure many people, those who watched, must have followed just like I did, though I was live right there, but others also on TV and radio and other platforms. Generally, when you listened to the presentations, it sounded like a very good thing. The kind of proposals that were being made, the kind of adjustments that are going to be done on the Constitution to address some of the issues that are facing us as a nation. You listened there, and generally you would say these are good proposals that can help the country move forward, can help build the nation. And they were very, very well received. Of course, you are hearing it from the people who are prepared the same, and they give you the very positive aspects of it. But then later, as we were encouraged, you're supposed to go back, read, understand, and interrogate some of the issues that were being presented, and then make up your mind whether indeed this is a great proposal or not. So generally, I would say that sitting there, everything that was presented sounded very good. Each and every item that was given had some very, what they were calling sweeteners, for the various categories of people that would directly benefit from a particular proposal. So the reception was good. As you do know, the deputy president, when he spoke, he raised some questions concerning several proposals that had been given, and kind of changed the mood a bit in the auditorium. And as you know, some people didn't think he did a very good job in terms of, as it were, poking holes into the proposals. So that brought about a mixed reaction within the auditorium that did not go down very well with the kind of mood that was already there. But otherwise, I would say it was a good meeting. I would say what remains now is for us as ordinary Kenyans to lay our hands on this document, look at it, and make up our minds whether we think the proposals are good or not.
Something disturbs me in that I keep recalling 2010 and the debate towards the referendum of 2010. Mm-hmm. That the yes campaign, even when they were saying it's true, there are some things perhaps that we could look at, there came a time that people were just saying, no, let it go, we can always make amendments. The church, as I recall, kept saying, we make the amendments on this side, don't make the amendments on the other side. I don't know, Bishop, I've been a little bit worried that I'm seeing the same thing replay. Like there are some people already saying we can have a BBI too. And the church is raising some concerns. Other people, even politicians, as we saw then, are raising concerns here and there. I'm just a bit worried. Might we go through this the same way where we closed our ears to any other voice that was saying, why don't we rectify here? Why don't we rectify there before?
What I have come to conclude is that politicians like competition. Like it has been said that politics is a game, and so they find the game sweeter when there's some kind of competition. As you know, yes, I that is my own conclusion, because you remember when this whole thing started with the handshake, there were people who were for the handshake, there were people who were against the handshake. Then the thing moved to the BBI. There were people who were for the BBI, there were people who were against the BBI.
Yes.
It looks like there has been a kind of a convergence where people are saying, yes, we think there's a need for us to review the Constitution. Let's look at some of the issues that are there. And so we got to that place where some of these issues were surfaced and they were brought on board. And now the deputy president, even after saying what he said there, later on in the immediate following rallies, he actually said that we are ready to go with the BBI. We are ready to go for a referendum. Now, let's look at these issues that seem to be a bit contentious. Let's resolve them and let's go for a referendum that is not contested. So now the question, the competition, because looks like the move towards a referendum is now resolved. You know, it's like everybody's agreed, let's go for a referendum. Now the issue is, do we make changes or don't we make changes? So the debate now, the competition now is between those who want consensus building versus those who do not want a consensus building. So there seems to be no ending to this competition. When we were in the auditorium, the president said, let everybody read the document. If you see anything that needs to be adjusted, let's adjust it. I, as a person, when I was there representing the church, I said there were issues that we have noticed that the church presented, but have not been taken on board. Later, I was invited and said, you let the church look at those things and bring them. Let's see how we can incorporate them. So, but there are people who are determined to bring a competition at whatever level. I believe even if we agree on consensus now, they will come up with another competition. So that's why I say I think politicians love competition. They love us versus them. So it is sure that if there's going to be a referendum, there is going to be some level of competition on whatever issue. I do not know. By the time we go to the referendum, things may have changed significantly, because from the timelines I'm hearing is that referendum is likely to be somewhere between April and June next year. That's a long time. And so between now and then, we may even have agreed that let's do the consensus, but they will come up with something else that will create that competition. So as a people, I think what we just simply need to do is to remain sober and make very sober decisions. The unfortunate thing is that politicians talk so loudly that you can't hear any other voice. They drown every other voice. They are the ones with the answer. So they tend to carry the day. And as I said, I have said, you look at the US, there was competition even on wearing masks, you know?
Can you imagine?
The mask wearers and the non-mask wearers, you know?
I know, yes.
Politicians love competition. That's what I have come to conclude.
Who is in all this, as they play their game and seemingly enjoy it, the voice of the church, the voice of sober Kenyans who are looking at some of those things that the church, for example, is saying we need to relook this and that. We say this, it's not here. How can, are we sure? Are we sure that we are being listened to where it matters? Maybe not in the game field, where it really matters. Are we being listened to, Bishop?
As of now, at least we have an invitation. I hope it still stands to present our concerns.
Oh.
So as at least as of the time of the launch, by the time we left Bomas, and even a little after that, we got indications that the church should put together what their concerns are and bring them, and hopefully they can be taken on board. So we hope that position has not shifted since that time. So we are actually in the process of looking at what are some of the issues and concerns that we have, so that we can make presentation. What I do understand is that the framework of the BBI and the issues that have been surfaced may not change, but the content in specific areas, there may still be room for adding or subtracting. So it is in that light that we are preparing ourselves to make presentations, and I hope that that will be taken on board, and that we will be able to make our positions known, and they will be considered and taken as part of the process.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Bishop. Going on, just before we pick up from where we left it, is it about 2 weeks now ago in leadership, in the learning that we were doing on leadership, the COVID-19 situation in the country. What do you think? What do you think, looking at those numbers, especially in terms of that, you know, the church had made certain recommendations. By the time we were reopening places of worship, we are reopened already. And then this what seems to be a spike in numbers, both of cases in ICU, cases as reported, and even the death rate. What's been your feeling? What's been on your mind about that?
As we have discussed here before, it is very unfortunate, because what appears to be is that when the numbers started going down and went down, I remember one day we had about 20 or so cases. Kenyans generally relaxed. We felt this thing is behind us now. Wacha tuchape kazi. So we just went on, and you could see a sense of laxity in terms of observing the containment measures that were put in place. Simple things like wearing a mask, washing hands, keeping distance, and so on. You could see in various places people were not wearing their mask. They had their mask, but it is on the chin or on the neck. It is not serving any purpose. And that was quite prevalent. Of course, the opening up of social places like bars and restaurants and places of gathering like churches and so on, schools, traveling across the country, all those definitely would create this kind of a spike. So there's a sense in which we should actually not be too surprised at the rising in numbers. And that should get us back to a sense of responsibility. But when you look at people, I move around a bit. We are hearing these 1,400 cases. We are hearing these deaths, but it's not landing on the mind or heart of the ordinary person. It
It's not
actually,
thinking.
it is not sinking. It is not
It's
landing.
landing. It's landing. It's not sinking.
No, I don't think it's landing.
You don't think so? It's landing.
You
It's just
know
not sinking.
what landing means? You know,
Eh.
when you oil your body
Mm.
and there's a drop of water on
Eh.
your body,
Yes.
it doesn't land. It just hits you and passes on because
Oh.
it doesn't land. It can't settle. But if your body has no water, no oil, it lands.
Then it lands. Okay. Then it's not landing.
It's not landing. It's just
Okay.
hitting our bodies. It's hitting our minds, but just passing on. It's not landing before it even sinks, because it can only sink if it has landed.
Can you blame us when our politicians are out there with no masks in big lorries?
You know, Wamboi, we don't die en masse. You die your own death. I die my own death.
Yes.
You become sick. I become sick. You can't say when you are sick in hospital that why am I sick and my MP is not sick.
No, you can't do that.
You
can't do that. Yes.
It is your own life. So you can't say because my MP is out there in his rallies, therefore I also can do my things. Your MP may not fall sick, but you may fall sick. You may actually die. And he continues with his rallies.
Imagine.
They will send Rambi and so on, but life continues.
That sounds so bad and cruel. Yes.
It is not, but that is the reality.
It
Look
is.
at the United States of America.
Mm-hmm.
President Trump literally refused to put any measures in place to protect his people. In fact, he fought against any measures. 250,000, 70 now, I think it's 270 going to 300 now, 1,000 people who have died. He is campaigning. He is going on with his life. He's okay. It's okay. You know?
He keeps saying he had it. Now he's immune.
He's immune. He's going on because he's tested on a daily basis. So immediately this virus gets into his body, he's taken for medication. And the sooner it is got, the easier it is to treat it or at least to control it. So he gets immediate attention. He doesn't even stay in hospital for 3 days. He's out back on the campaign trail. You are sick. You go through all this, you die. But you become a statistic. You are among the 270,000 people who have died. So it is up to us as individuals to take care of ourselves and to take care of those around us so that we can control this thing. We can say about the government right now, if the government was to announce another lockdown, we will be up in arms. What will we eat? No, where will we go? Now, etc. Yet, if we took responsibility, I think we have quoted the country of Sweden.
Yes.
Sweden never went into a lockdown.
No.
But if you read the story of Sweden, what helped them is that they apparently are a very disciplined people. So when they were told to wear masks, to wash their hands, to keep social distance, they do it religiously. And that has helped them. They have deaths, but not as high as other nations. So you would think that they were careless, but no, they were just disciplined. And that discipline has helped them. So we too, if we took just some measures of discipline, I believe that we can actually bring down this infections. That is the challenge that faces us as a people. On the other hand, though, I look at I look at the same politicians you are talking about. They don't seem to be focused on corona right now. I think BBI has taken the space that you rarely hear anybody concerned seriously other than the Ministry of Health talking about corona and its impact on society. Almost all of us have kind of been sucked into this whole BBI debate and discussions and the consideration of what could happen to us seem to have just disappeared into the back burner. My thinking is that the Ministry of Health should come up again. I know that there is going to be a meeting. The president is meeting with his I think security team or whatever that team is called this coming Wednesday, and we hope that they will come up with some definite proposals as to what should be done. I pray that we don't get into another lockdown or serious measures, but if that is what is going to help control the situation, then really there's little we can do about it. All we can say is that Kenyans need to live. We need to live another day. We are already in a very serious economic situation, and the only way we can survive is if we are going to control this situation. So there we are with coronavirus growing by the day, but maybe I've not put in the spiritual angle. Even from a spiritual perspective, I think that we as Kenyans, especially the Christian community, needs to get back to the place of prayer. I have every reason to believe that if we as a Christian community were to have concerted prayers, God would hear our cry. I know that there are things that we have done that definitely God may not even want to listen to us. But on the other hand, he has said, if my people who are called by my name humble themselves and pray, he will hear us and he will answer us. And that is the place where we must go. Sorry, Wamboi. Looks like Wamboi's internet is... let's take a break and come back and continue with our discussion.
Did you know the Friends of Hope is an initiative of Hope Media? Through this initiative, we are able to partner with others who are keen to ensure that we keep hope alive. Through your support, we are sharing the hope we have with many others who are yet to embrace hope. You too can become a part of this initiative today. Send your contribution of any amount to M-Pesa paybill number 933933. Account name Friends of Hope. For more information regarding Friends of Hope, please email friendsofhope@hopefm.org or SMS FOH to 20933. Join Friends of Hope today. Friends of Hope, keeping hope alive. Another quality service from Christ is the Answer Ministries.
We're back. And Bishop, I want us now to go straight to the matters that we left last time when you were taking us through transformational leadership. Where would you want to pick it up?
We can pick up from where we left.
Yeah.
That was it's a while now since we looked at this. I hope that those people who are with us are still with us. But
Yes.
we had done the characteristics of transformational leader, and then we started on the 4 dimensions of transformational leadership. I think that's where we left it.
Yes.
So we said that there are 4 dimensions of the leadership. What we had discussed earlier was the characteristic of the leader himself. This is now the dimensions of the leadership. So it's a slight difference there. So we said that there are 4 dimensions to this. The first one is what we call idealized influence, which is also known as charisma. And then we said there is inspirational motivation, there is intellectual stimulation, and individualized consideration. Those are the 4 dimensions. And we started by explaining that idealized influence or charisma is the degree to which the leader behaves in admirable ways that cause followers to want to identify with the leader because the way they conduct themselves is such that everybody wants to identify with them. Their followers, the members of the team, want to identify with the leader because of just the way they conduct themselves. Charismatic leaders display this level of conviction. Whatever they say it with passion, they say with conviction. Whatever they lay their hands upon to do, they do it with passion, with conviction. You remember I said that sometimes, even if they are wrong, you begin to feel like perhaps you are the one who is wrong because they are saying it with that level of certainty and conviction that you just say, perhaps I'm the one who is wrong, because
you doubt yourself.
You doubt yourself.
Yes.
So that on the positive side, it is very important. Is not convinced about what they are saying. It is very difficult to follow them. So a leader needs to be convinced and convincing. They themselves are convinced about what they are saying, but they are also convincing in the way that they say it. So they take stands on issues. They are not ambivalent. They are not wishy-washy. They take a stand on a matter and they say, this is my position on this particular issue. And they appeal to followers at an emotional level. What this means is that this idealized influence in terms of transformational leadership is that these leaders appeal to the heart, not just to the mind. There's a difference between the mind and the heart. The mind is very rational. It processes data, and you respond to issues at a very rational in a rational manner. But when matters go down to the heart, they go to the emotional level. And when data is combined with emotion, there is deep conviction. And those are people that are very difficult to move out of their position or out of their stand. So even as we are talking about the BBI debate, there are those people who are speaking to us at the mind level. they give you data. This is what the document is saying. These are the issues and so on and so forth. So they appeal to your mind. You can see the reasoning behind it. You can see what is being said. But you need to bring that to emotional level so that I also get convinced in my spirit, in my heart, that yes, this is something that is important. And so there are those people who are also speaking at the heart level. And those are the people who are going to carry the day. Whether they are right or
right. Oh my goodness. They better be right if they're the ones who will carry
they
the
better
day.
be right. Yes, they better be right. And that's why we need to make our contribution to the same, so that we don't allow them to convince us with things that are wrong. But
then,
that is,
Bishop,
yes.
Bishop, we in the church this is our domain. We speak to the hearts of people. Then we should carry the day. This is what we do every day.
Yes, that is true. But unfortunately, we do not have the same kind of platform that the politician has. And so we end up with a situation where the politician's voice sounds louder than the church leader's voice. If there's a crusade that has been called by the church, and there is a rally that has been called by the politician, which one do you think is going to be reported in the news?
I know. Very obviously, the politicians.
Very
It will be
obvious. Yes,
number one in the news.
exactly. So you find that I could call a rally as a church leader to educate people on BBI. My fellow political leader calls another rally to say exactly the same things. He will get headline. I will get, if I'm lucky, somewhere in the inside pages in the newspaper. He will get the first mention in the headline news. I will get, if I do, somewhere after people have switched off near the sports,
Yeah, I know. I know.
That is just the way that our society has become. So in that sense, then you find that the voice of the politician sounds louder. Sometimes people even ask, where is the church? The church is speaking, but the microphone is switched off. The PA system is switched off. So the church is not quiet. Is actually speaking. Is actually making very, very important contribution to the discussion. It's just that their mics have been switched off. So nobody.
Can we do anything about that, Bishop? Is anything at all that the church can do to change that? Even if ever so slowly, can we do anything at all?
That's part of the reason we have tried to get into the media space. If you are familiar with the 7 spheres of influence,
yes,
or what is called the 7 mountains,
yes, I am,
of influence, which have been said that if you are going to impact society, if you are going to bring transformation within society, you must be in these 7 spheres. One of them is media.
One of them is media, yes.
One of them is media, because media is very significant in the influence and transformation of society. And that's part of the reason we as CITAM decided to get into the space of media. And through that, then we are able to do what we are doing now. We can talk about BBI, and those who are listening hopefully hear what we are saying, over and above what other media are saying and the political leaders are saying. So We just need to build also our space. Number two is that for a long time, the church and the Christians in general have dissociated themselves from national and social issues, such that if you come to church and you find me talking about the political issues of the day, you say today there was no church. The pastor was just talking about politics.
We've gone home hungry.
We have gone home hungry because we want to be nourished.
You are not.
So the church has such a big platform that we could utilize. Every Sunday we have a rally.
Yes.
Every Sunday we have little rallies in our own sanctuaries. But we do not use those platforms to educate our people. We do not use those platforms. If the church used those platforms, say, for example, every Sunday, take 5 minutes, 10 minutes to just explain this BBI thing. This is what it says. This is what it contains, etc., etc. The politician will soon realize that the rug is being pulled from their feet.
Oh.
And they will listen to the church. But we are not doing that. So we have opportunity, but we are swimming against the current.
Okay. All right. So I have written an equation here. You said data plus emotion is equals to conviction.
That's deep conviction. Add the word deep.
Deep. Okay. Deep conviction. Data plus emotion equals to deep conviction.
Very true.
All right.
I'm doing a study right now. It has been on for a while. It is a hypothesis that I came up with some time back, and I want to just study it a little deeper. When Jesus said, "You shall love the Lord with all your mind, with all your heart, with all your strength, your soul, and with all your strength."
Yes.
How does that contribute to convictions about issues? And I've been doing that analysis just from an academic point of view, as a scientific analysis, and I want to carry it through. And part of what I'm saying is part of it. That when you love the Lord with your mind, there are people who love the Lord with their minds, and you can see it in their lives. They have the knowledge of God. They have they know what is right about God, but they don't love him with their hearts. So therefore, there is no conviction.
It's just data.
It is data in their minds. You tell them about the Bible, you tell them about Jesus, you tell them, they know it. They know it. They know it. I mean, there is nothing new you can tell them. They have read the Bible. It is in their minds. They know it's a good thing. But when they meet with situations where they now need to apply that information, they are not able to apply, so that they are easily persuaded by the practices that are around them. And that's what the children of Israel always problem they always landed in, that they admire what their neighbors are doing. It looks better, not because they don't know their God. Other than in the days of the judges, when they didn't know their God, these people knew their God. They read the Bible, they had the law, they wrote it on their heads and so on. But it was in the mind. It was in the mind. And many of us have that conviction, that knowledge in the mind. And James would say, even the devil knows, So you are not any different. It doesn't make a difference for the devil. But when that knowledge is now moved to you love God also with your heart, if you find a person who is very deep in their knowledge and understanding of the Word of God, and they have so much passion from deep in their hearts, that is a powerful person. That is a very powerful person. You can't persuade them to do evil.
No.
No. This is
They love
Joseph.
the Lord in their heart.
This is Joseph running away from this woman. This is Daniel saying, I would rather go to the den of lions. This is Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego saying, even if God does not deliver us, you know?
Wow.
This is Peter standing before the Sanhedrin and say, choose for yourself what you think. But as for us, we are not going to. That is deep conviction. It is in the heart. But now you add then the soul. The soul is where the spirit is. When you get to that threesome understanding of an issue, you can't convince a person. And that is what the African really did with our cultures, with our norms. And that's why they are so deep. Sometimes it's so difficult to uproot people because they inculcate the knowledge in your mind while you're young. They bring it to the emotional level and give you stories of what could happen if you don't do this and if you don't do the other, and then reinforce it with the spirit. If you don't do this, the ancestors will come and visit with you. You know?
That's emotional.
It is not just emotional, it is now spiritual. It is spiritual because now you are dealing with the spirits of the dead.
Oh my goodness.
And now because you have no control over the spirits of the dead, your father, your grandfather, your great-great-grandfathers can visit you because if you don't do this. And therefore you find that African cultural norms are so deep that it is difficult to draw people out of them because they are at those three levels. It is in the mind, it is in the heart, it is in the spirit. And therefore it determines action, which is now your strength. So that's a study that I'm actually
the strength
doing.
is about the action point.
Yes, because it is now the body, the physical.
What a study you are doing, Bishop. How did you try to do that? That's quite a study. When is it going to be ready?
Soon. Let me pack this plane.
Oh yeah, you've got a plane you must pack fast. All right, let's take a short break and get back with Bishop of Christ is the Answer Ministries, Bishop David Oginde, helping us with matters leadership. Leaders and their followers, and we do this every Monday. That's called the Leadership Forum. I'm on Boimboro. We take a short break. If you're on Hope FM, the radio, you are able to listen now to the news highlights at 12.
Did you know the Friends of Hope is an initiative of Hope Media? Through this initiative, we are able to partner with others who are keen to ensure that we keep hope alive. Through your support, we are sharing the hope we have with many others who are yet to embrace hope. You too can become a part of this initiative today. Send your contribution of any amount to M-Pesa paybill number 933933. Account name Friends of Hope. For more information regarding Friends of Hope, please email friendsofhope@hopefm.org or SMS FOH to 20933. Join Friends of Hope today. Friends of Hope, keeping hope alive. Another quality service from Christ is the Answer Ministries. Did you know the Friends of Hope is an initiative of Hope Media? Through this initiative, we are able to partner with others who are keen to ensure that we keep hope alive. Through your support, we are sharing the hope we have with many others who are yet to embrace hope. You too can become a part of this initiative today. Send your contribution of any amount to M-Pesa paybill number 933933. Account name Friends of Hope. For more information regarding Friends of Hope, please email friendsofhope@hopefm.org or SMS FOH to 20933. Join Friends of Hope today. Friends of Hope, keeping hope alive. Another quality service from Christ is the Answer Ministries.
Welcome back, and we will be looking at some of your comments. By the way, you can send in comments. You can also send in perhaps questions for the bishop. And if you are on radio, you can use the SMS line 20933. I'll be looking at that as well. Thanks to the whole crew at Hope FM that is able to help us get those ones also. Even as we stream this from home, from our different homes in these very different times as we keep social distancing. It seems to have worked well. We are able to also get you on Facebook, on YouTube, and we are also on Instagram. You can follow us through all those, and Twitter handle. Also, you can do all of that. Now, I'm seeing Joshua Macau already. You wrote quite early saying already having my headphones on, ready to learn. And Joshua Macau says that his hood is Buruburu. I laughed at that. My hood is Buruburu. All right. Buruburu represented there by Joshua Macau. Biki Ogola tuned. You didn't say from where, but thank you. Mwakazi, now a very regular name here on Leadership Forum, and says, praise the Lord. Servants of God, Valley Arcade is already tuned in, ready to learn at Hope Leadership Forum. Thank you, Mwakazi Fred. Joske Shams as well, tuned in as always. And Joske, we thank you for your very consistent viewing and listening. Hilary Inyanje, also quite consistent, and says tuned in all the way from Nakuru County. Yes, and Nakuru County listens on 93.9. Yes, that's the 93.9, and you're ready to learn. Thank you, Hilary. Pamela Rita Munyi, and you call this a timely forum. The church, government, and community urgently needs transformational leaders today. I couldn't agree more. Timely, Pamela Rita says. Apora Asiepora, watching from Kayole. Thank you. What a name. Arwo Amos also tuned in. Judith Auma, quite a consistent listener watching and viewer, then watching on Facebook, on YouTube. Ton Getange, already tuned. Joseph Ochieng, thank you. Awinja Sarah Winnie, and says you're tuned in for Leadership Forum. Shepherd Ian Bissett, I see that name quite often, and we're thankful you're tuned in today on Facebook. Joske Shams, you said that Bishop represented us very well at the Bombers. Joske, what did you hear him say? I think you should have said more. What did you hear him say so that you say that he represented us very well? Just in case someone didn't listen, they can get from you. George Mundia Kazungu tuned in from Thika. Thika well represented there. Maureen Asanjo, you didn't say where you are, but I can see you're watching on YouTube, listening and learning. Judith, you also said that Bishop made us proud. You said you made us proud, and your Jerusalem challenge has been passed in Parliament. Glory to God. Wow, Judith, you make me laugh. Yes, he did make a challenge there. Julia Mchana tuned from Wiki in Kasarani. Thank you. Wangari Masharia from Kiambu. Hezron Ochola tuned in. I don't know from where, but on YouTube. Thika Shadrach Munene, I see you. Anita Watet representing Gong area. Metropolis. Yes, thank you. Mwalimu Dominic Chariot, watching where from, I wonder? You didn't say, but Noah Waswa tuned in from Parklands. Bishop will tell us more about, or should tell us more about the Jerusalem dance in Kenya. Always edified by the teachings on leadership. Actually, when he comes back, I'm going to ask him about this Jerusalem dance that he's recommending for Kenya. Yeah, I will. Thank you. Now, two people have agreed that he needs to talk some more. And Espila tuned in, ready to learn as always. And Espila, thank you. We appreciate you. John Olonda, watching from Ruaka. Maggie Wamboi from Githurai, massive. There is a Githurai massive. I really didn't know that. Thank you, Maggie. And Celestine Gue tuned. You didn't say from where. Espila says politicians are double-minded. The ones Apostle James said they are unstable in all their ways. And you say, hence all the confusion. We will see how Bishop responds to that. They are the double-minded that James was talking about. Marilyn Wasuna saying, Bishop, looking at the summary, the wage bill for the political leadership will be huge there than it is right now. Yes, we will comment on that. Thank you, Marilyn. And Julius Makoha saying good morning. Thank you. Just some kind words that we are looking like we are ready to keep this work going. Thank you, Julius. Celia Washuka got the two says, what is the voice of God in this report? And why does the clergy allow themselves to be driven instead of taking their superior God-given position, rather than seem to play and align themselves with the political leadership? If something is bad, I think is what you wanted to say, don't say it's good. I'm not too clear, Cecilia. Could you make it a little bit clearer for me? Where are you feeling that the clergy are allowing themselves to be driven instead of using their superior God-given positions? Please help me understand what you are observing, what you are seeing. I think it will help so that the question is answered with understanding. Winfred Matthew, thank you for listening on 92.0. Bishop says, Julius, Bishop in 2027. Oh, it's that pressure from the people to become to run for presidency that Bishop keeps getting. So Julius is saying perhaps Bishop he should consider 2027 and then being in the race for president. I don't know. He keeps saying that if the Lord leads, I hear him out on that today. Irene Gigi saying, listening on radio and be blessed. Nice having you, Bishop and Wamboy, and thank you, Irene. And God bless you too. Lona Lihemo listening and tuned in on 101.9. You must be then at the coast. Thank you, Lona Lihemo, for listening. Christine Lucas, talking about personal responsibility. This must have been after the comment on COVID-19. And I'm hoping that Bishop now is ready to come in and to join us so that we can continue looking at some of your questions and continue with the teaching that he was teaching us on the 4 dimensions of the transformational leadership. Bishop, we're waiting for you. As soon as you're ready, I will be giving the space to you so that you can comment on some of these things. By the way, comment on the wage bill as raised by Marilyn. Marilyn raises the issue of the wage bill looking as though it will be higher than even the current wage bill for parliamentarians. Is that so, Bishop, in the way you've been looking at the document? She seems to have looked at the summarized one. The one Bishop Callisto told us is 23 pages. Can you hear me, Bishop? Is it I with a problem, or is it Bishop's side that has a problem? Our technician, if you could correct something so that we are able to hear what Bishop is saying. In the meantime, I look at some more of your comments here. Let's just set those things correctly so that we can hear one another better. And Esther Mbele, I see you're watching on Facebook and you're saying you're tuned in from Loresho and you're getting us very loudly and clearly. Bishop, can you comment on the stolen corona donations? Since your church made a donation, what are you doing to follow up? I think we had talked about this some time back. Marilyn, maybe you did not listen to that specific one, but perhaps he'll be able to comment when he comes back. Bishop Trump closed his country before any other nation did. Well, okay. I think that's a response to some of the comments about the coronavirus, and we'll be coming back to that. Anne Mwende says, I thank God for giving our bishop the courage, the clarity to speak, and also that the nation listens. Decisions now lie with us, you say, to either agree or ignore the counsel that we get from the men of God. Thank you. Ruguru Gishovi saying, we thank God you're back. Yes, there's a time today it seems we are having quite some internet hitches, whether it's on my side or Bishop's side, but mine seem to have stabilized now. But thank you, Rogoro, that you're watching. Willie Moya tuned in, Enoch Misango. And you're asking, Bishop, what's your stand towards the BBI? Is it okay? Isn't that a very political question right now? I will indeed ask the bishop. So what's his stand right now? Julia saying, let me ask a question. Can transformational leaders or leadership be used outside the church, like organizations or groups outside the church? I wonder, Julius, what do you mean? Because we've been talking about this leadership, not just targeting leaders or leadership in church, but also targeting leadership anywhere else. So I don't know. We may need to interrogate that, but I think at a general level, this leadership forum is actually meant for all leaders in all places, even you and I, who may not be leaders, but we are followers and we are leaders in our own small place. So we are all in this and we need to be learning transformational leadership. Jerry Karaoke, thank you. Nimechelewa kidogo kwa class. Joske, please answer that question from Jerry. And she was actually asking you, topic ni gani? Well, we began with BBI, then we went on to matters to do with coronavirus in the country and where we are at. And now, as we went for a short break, we were actually talking about the whole issue of leadership, transformational leadership. Bishop, if you're now able to join us, please do join us as we look at the dimensions of the leader who is a transformational leader. Omondi David says, unfortunately, Bishop, many pastors have no understanding of the document of BBI. It is making it difficult for them to explain it to the congregations. Omondi David, thank you. It is true. It is true. And I think maybe we will ask, because I remember in 2010, there was a whole group of professionals in the church who went around different churches, helping the leaderships to understand and we need to figure out what can be done so that we understand this document, even at congregational levels here and there in the country. What can individuals do to make to make them love God, I think is what you wanted to say, to make them love God with all their heart as well as with their minds? Great question. As we invite Bishop back. Bishop, I hope your internet can stabilize now. And I think let's begin with a question that has to do with the BBI report and how pastors may not actually know in different congregations, may actually not know what is in it or what some of the meanings in them, and therefore how can they help their congregations? How would you respond to that? I'm hoping we are only getting a delay, but that Bishop will be able to respond to that in just a while. Welcome back, and truly sorry that we are having these hitches today. It's not too clear why we are having the hitches, but Bishop is able to now come back. Bishop, if you can just join in again, and I think we still go back to the question. The questions that our listeners were raising before we continue with the dimensions where you had begun. The question of pastors, if pastors are to educate their members, if pastors are to use what space they have as a stage or as a pulpit in the churches, the question we had wanted to look at is the question of what needs to be done, maybe at the level, let's say, of NCCK, of Evangelical Alliance of Kenya, of the Catholic bishops, those higher bodies that kind of have oversight over the smaller churches. What could we do so that we get the document understood? Sometimes I realized in 2010, we were able to go through documents, but there are so many things we couldn't see until our our people who are in the legal field were able to help us understand that. Then you will be helping us differentiate yet again, at least for the sake of Ben Alintara and others, how to get to loving God, not from the head, but from the heart. So now what we saw is the characteristic of someone that loves God with the mind and the one who loves God with the heart. But how can we get to love God with the heart? We also saw how important that is because it gets you with the deep conviction that isn't easily shakable. Chris Wambua, we will be going through again the opening mention of the 4 dimensions. I'll ensure that we do that before we wrap up. And I am being told from the studio that once again, Bishop seems to have lost the internet and therefore unable to join me. Maybe what I'll do is just read a few more of your comments, and maybe we will just call it a day for today and continue with some music that will be on the Hope FM, and see how best to continue with this in the days to come so that it's not so hard for you who are watching on Facebook. On Monday, David says it's difficult to say no or yes to a matter that you know little about. Hence the call for the clergy to get hold of the document, read, seek expert interpretation by the help of the Holy Spirit, and then take a stand. Agreed. Maureen Obonzua says, happy to see and hear you again present in class. God bless you, Maureen, as well. As you say, God bless us. Sorry, we are having internet hitches today. Omondi says, and this too shall come to pass. And Jerry Karaoke, you've gotten the clarification. It is about dimensions of transformation leadership. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Anthony Atuoma, also saying sorry about the internet issues. This happens. I think Kenyans are getting used to a little bit of this in Zoom classes, in Zoom things, and streamed other things. I know we all kind of understand in these days. It's been a bit like this. Barry Junior Kabaya says, I find nothing big that clergy cannot say no to in this BBI. Have you read it before you make such a conviction statement? I find nothing big that the clergy cannot say no to in this BBI. The process is discriminative, divisive, and ill motivated. Is that what you're saying? Why can't the church tell the politicians on their faces that this is not right? But Barry, you first of all say that you find nothing big that clergy can. Oh, okay, okay. I think you were saying that you find that clergy should just say no to this BBI. Goes on to say, why can't the church tell the politicians to their faces that this is not right. Interesting. I hope you've read it. I hope you've read it. Praise God, Pastor and Bishop. I'm so happy about this lesson of leadership. It teaches us more. Glory to God. You're tuned in from the stadium. Which one? Thank you. Anyway, and Stephen Samo traveling from Luanda to Mombasa. Wow. And you're listening and watching as you travel. Thank you. Sarah Wagikaria tuned in from Kabete. We thank God that you're also able to tune in. Maureen Anyango, Pastor and Bishop, I'm so happy about this lesson. Thank you for that. And thank you, MC Sakwa, agreeing with Just K. Bishop rooting for inclusion of faith institutions in BBI was a timely contribution. That must be at the Bomas. Also, his call for the BBI proponents and opponents to tone down. That was a bold take on this divisive campaign. And Chris Wambua says that the Bomas BBI, I had bishops spectacularly call the political class to order. And Chris says, you said stop the reggae for the moment, stop the hustler tune for the moment, and we all join together in the Jerusalem. Bishop, if only you were not having issues with internet, I was going to engage you just a little bit on what you had meant with the Jerusalem dance. What would it look like if Kenyans heeded that, if the political class heeded that, and we sang the Jerusalem tune? What actually would it look like? What did you have in mind? But now, as it were, we may have to just wind it up here. I want to thank each of you that were able to be part of the Leadership Forum today. While we didn't do too much, we at least took the first dimension of transformational leadership that is called charisma. Bishop says it's about idealized influence. Idealized influence. When the leader conducts himself in such a way that the followers identify with him. This is where data and emotion is equals to deep conviction. And we will pick it up from there next Monday, God willing. My name is Wambo Imboro. Have a blessed Monday afternoon and a blessed week ahead. We see you on Monday, God willing.